Welcome to the Brainworm Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the web serial Worm by Wildable, also known as J.C. McRae. I have read the story and I'm rereading it while dragging someone else to do the same. My co-host Yakuman has not read the story, but is being forced to currently in
Bullied,
your
harassed.
eyes, I guess, or in your ears. Not sure how you're
You
following
know,
this.
yeah, the movie like Jabberwocky, which we did not watch recently. I don't want to be a knight. I don't want to be a knight, but I'm being forced to fucking fight this giant, disgusting dragon chicken monster. Yeah, that's literally me. And at the end of it, I have to get reluctantly married to a beautiful princess. Well, kind of beautiful. I mean, she's attractive, but I don't want to do it.
Yeah, but he does end up being the hero, and then he gets an unhappy life. So where do you want
Yeah.
to stop?
Um. Hmm. Well, yeah. I mean, I'd like to stop now. I'd like to stop in my shitty little village making the barrels if I could.
Before the call to action.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck the whole hero's journey. This is stupid.
Well, we are in a wholly different journey, and it is kind of a hero's journey because the protagonist wants to be a hero.
Uh-huh. Yeah, me, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh no, you're talking about Taylor. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I'm talking
Yeah,
about
sorry,
Taylor.
whoops.
Taylor Worm Hebert.
Yeah. And then she goes into the unknown world of the villains. Um and that's a fucking long time. I really hope at some point it all comes crashing down for her, and she has to face the consequences of her actions. Not like near the end, but like near the first quarter of it, where she like finally betrays the people, and then it's like, well, no, you've committed like so many fucking crimes. You robbed a bank. No, we're putting you to jail. I hope that happens at least like the first quarter. I'm gonna be pissed if it's like 2/3 of the way in.
Interesting. Well,
Yep.
real quick, just so we can plug our shit, I guess.
Oh yeah.
My name is Emil Worrell. I'm also a web serial writer. You can find my stuff at thedeathless.net or just the Deathless on Royal Road. There will be a link in the description and in front of your eyes right now if you dare to look at the camera. Or why did I say the camera? The screen.
The screen.
And what about you? You were also doing something else in this very same channel.
Yes. Subscribe to the Freaks of Narrative, which is the channel of which this podcast is on. And if you're tired of the lateness and the unpredictable upload schedule of Brainworm, despite it being a masterpiece, it is one that is sporadic and chaotic. If you need a weekly show, Monster Girl Mondays, me, the fellow freak Alan Horai, we read Monster Girl Encyclopedia, Monster Girl porn, and then we laugh, we have fun, we rank them, how hot they are, how hot they're not are, and we have fun. It's fun. It's a good show. It's not like this, which is torture and brutal, and it makes me want to kill myself. It makes me want to kill myself in with love, and no other links currently, no other shows.
Currently. But there will
No,
be.
not currently. Probably. We're both very podcast brained. We would do 1,000,000 if we could, but it takes time.
Speaking of which, 5.1.
5.1, yeah.
Yeah, Hive 5.1. I only do not have a summary for the interlude, but that's fine because we read it today, so it's still fresh in our minds.
Yeah. Yeah, the internet was good. That was a good one. I liked it.
Yeah.
We'll get that one and talk about it.
So Hive, chapter 1 of Arc 5. The Undersiders, costumed, arrive at a dingy bar with a deaf waitress. Other villains arrive at a planned meeting to discuss the matter of the ABB, Bakuda's reckless actions, the civilians she's kidnapping and killing, and the fact that the city having turned into a war zone is bringing too much attention to the city from heroes and the authorities. All of the main villain players of Brockton Bay are in this gathering, including several new faces, some of which aren't named. Empire 88, Fault Line's crew, the Undersiders, Coil, the Nomadic Travelers, and Skidmark. By the end, they agree
Skip
on a
bar.
temporary truce while they deal with the ABB. Tattletale points out that aside from Gru and Faultline, everyone else is already planning to use the situation for their advantage. So I did say like earlier this week that this chapter is like very anime because it's like
Hmm.
when not necessarily anime, I guess more manga. When like at the end of a shonen arc, you have like a new group of characters and you meet like 10 different people and it's like the
Oh
supernova
yeah.
from One Piece and you know that well we are meeting these 10 people at the same time because we are going to spend the next couple arcs getting to meet each of them individually, I guess, is the structure
Pretty
that is being
much.
hinted at.
Pretty much every single arc of Fairy Tail is exactly like that. Yeah. There's
Yeah,
like a new guild of like bad guys and stuff who need to all collect the 7 magic keys to unlock the 7 sentinels, which will destroy the world. And then the fairy tale guys, they all split up, take them down one by one. But oh no, the big bad guy, he ended up collecting all 7 of them anyway. And then fucking yeah, big old climax.
yeah. I thought about Fairy Tail, but I don't like the idea of using Fairy Tail as an example of anything. But
I think fairy tale and worm are pretty comparable. Yeah.
but yeah, I do. I just think it's like smart. Like I like when you get this sense of, and I am including Fairy Tail in this, despite how much I don't like the story. Where, yeah, if the
Mhm.
story is set in like a world where you have these guilds, it makes it very easy to introduce 15 new characters because you just meet the whole guild and that's where they hang out. Like it just
Yeah.
facilitates getting a lot of new faces.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I certainly prefer this. Like, it would have been funny if the where they met was like a big dark room with a round table, and that would have been funny. But you know, the cafe is like a good place or whatever it is, like a diner. Yeah, you're right. This arc is definitely more fantastical for like most of it. Like the beginning and the end of it are like a lot more. It feels like a lot more like manga or superhero esque, where it is these characters, these crazy characters like Gregor the Snail and Skidmark and Empire 88, which sounds like a fucking casino ad, but whatever. Um, all getting together, and then there's a big old fight of yeah, we'll get to. I
Yeah,
don't know. Sometimes like the problem I've had with like Worm so far has been like I don't feel that interested or like imagination sparks through a lot of like the names and descriptions of these supervillains, where it's like it's just like a guy or a girl in like black cloths with like a gas mask on, and it's like this isn't that interesting. This one is like taking its time to introduce more weirder characters, and I prefer that.
yeah, this is like the world is opening up. The scale is starting to go a little higher. We are falling into the villain like society of Brockton Bay
Yeah.
now. And it does really help the world that it's not just a different guy with power, but that they are varied in the way you described. I do think
Mm.
I don't really have like an issue with the way that it was presented so far, where it was like very like human vulnerable people that don't really look
Mm.
like standoffish in some way. But if that is something that was bothering you, then yeah, I can see how it starts changing
Yeah.
here on out.
Yeah. There's like a lot of like the descriptions, like costumes and like the people. I'm just kind of like I don't know. I don't know. It's just kind of when I originally we met like the Undersiders, like none of them the way they're described ever really like popped out at me besides some bitch. They were just kind of like yeah whatever. It would be cool if one of the Undersiders was like a guy dressed as a green scorpion man with a big old mechanical scorpion tail. That's rad. That's cool. But it's just some guy dressed in black. I guess I don't know. Stupid. I legitimately can't tell you what a Alex costume looks like. I have no clue.
You'll get used to it.
He could just be running around in his underwear for all I know. I don't fucking.
There is a joke kind of like that where like much later on there is a character that is described where it's like, oh, he was wearing nothing but like a dress the dress trousers or something. I don't remember the exact quote. And then people take that. No, it's actually the other way around. It's like he was wearing nothing but a dress shirt. And so people are like, wait, so does he not have anything on his legs? And that's not what is being told, but it kind of reads like that. So you can, so people like to imagine that one particular character is just like walking around swinging cock around all the time, and no one addresses it.
Yeah, that's funny. That's good. We should follow that guy.
So about the, I mean, we knew Empire 88. We met Purity and Kaiser in the previous interlude. So
Yeah.
those are some people that like Taylor doesn't know much about them, but we have some idea of what is happening there. But this opportunity is taken to introduce us to a lot of new people, and this happens again later on in the arc. But I just wanted to ask if, like, from all of the people that we met, like Hookwolf and Trickster and the Travelers and Coil, Faultline, like anyone stands out to you? Anyone that you are particularly interested in? Anyone that you remember from the tier list?
Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure you and Chroma liked Coil for some reason. Which I'm guessing is gonna be like a thing later of why they're supposed to be cool.
And Skidmark,
Yeah,
of
Gregor-
course.
Yeah, Skidmark's great. Skidmark's great. Gregor the Snail is great. Yeah, I don't know. Who else stuck out to me? Yeah, I don't know. Some of these names sound like a Wild Bow written series, like Night and Fog and Coil. You know, they're not exactly like amazing names.
Yeah, he really likes his single word short names.
Yeah, you know, I'll give it. I don't like Wild Bow. I think he's a fucking moron and he's stupid. But you know what? He's probably better at Wordle than I am.
Oh yeah, he must be good at Wordle.
Yeah, he probably plays Wordle and was like, oh, yeah, that's a good name for a series. Yeah, oh. Lousy. Yeah, oh, that's good.
Lousy. Then, of course, throughout this, like, there are people that we meet here that are only named later, that kind of become more important characters. Like Sundancer is here. There are comments about this like shapeshifter in the Travelers that we don't know what exactly they are. We don't get their names. Sundancer is there, but we only get her name later as well. Labyrinth's
great. I like Labyrinth.
Really like Labyrinth as well.
Yeah, Labyrinth's great. There's Fenya and Menya, I guess.
Yeah.
There's like some that do stand out, some that don't. But mainly it is like about them discussing this attack on the ABB, the Asian Bad Boys.
Which I do like that this happens like at this moment of the story, because throughout the previous arcs we kept hearing about like different groups, and we got some names dropped here and there, and all this talk about how they could be dangerous, and we saw a little bit of the words. So if we didn't start getting into other groups now, like if this happened too late, it would really feel as if there was no good reason. So I do like that we are still very early in the story, but like the escalation with the ABB is something that has to be addressed. If this happened like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 arcs from now, it would probably feel like the introduction was overstaying its welcome. It would be weird to keep hearing about how dangerous things can be and not really see it.
Yeah, if it was just the Undeciders for like most of it, because eventually there's also like the Endbringers or whatever they were called. They were like mentioned once. Yeah, they were mentioned once as well. So it's good it's like a scale. So you have that one that's like a should not be named Voldemort type of But then you have like the Asian Bad Boys, which is like a higher level of threat. Yeah, and we do see like how dangerous they are from like the kind of like the very beginning, the very first fight, and we just see more and more. Now we've seen Bakudo, we've seen Oni Lee. You know that they're dangerous. It's cool. And like it's like so many groups have to come together in order to take them down.
Yeah. Actually, like Elisa did talk about this when they are going to rob the bank, that if people ever feel as if someone's going too far, everyone bands together to like get rid of you. So yeah, like she was correct in that sense. We are seeing that happening here, which of course is kind of Taylor's fault for for attacking Lung on that first day. So there is an escalation just narratively there as well. Because, well, kind of is her fault. Like, the ABB had been kept, like, each of these powers around the city kept the other in check. And as soon as Taylor messed with the status quo, then Bakuda went ham. Like, they weren't this volatile before.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they were already like doing stuff, but it was like now they're like the ABB are like breaking into people's houses and kidnapping people and putting bombs in their brains. Definitely is an escalation, as we've while also introducing the groups. Kind of like every arc they introduce, like not every arc, but most of the arcs they introduce at least one. They introduce like the Sentinels, whatever they're called, the Ward. They introduce they mention the Endbringers. They introduce Empire 88, just like slowly adding them up. It was a good.
Yeah, though this arc is a little different in that front, because while before it was like we get a small tidbit of something, like, oh, the Enderbringers, what is that? We don't really know, but we know they're dangerous, that exists. In this arc, there is lots of very direct hinting at, like, oh, this character has something going on. Like, oh, what is happening with Labyrinth? What is happening with this group that we see in the Gregory Snail interlude? Why, like, Sandancer says that there's something going on with the Tricksters group. I mean, the Travelers, which is Tricksters group. So this feels as if, like, while the ball goes past the introduction, and now he's like pulling his sleeves up and being like, okay, now I can show you all of these characters that I have been coming up with for ages. Does feel a step up from arcs 1 through 4, in my opinion.
Yeah, this is a better arc than the first four. Yeah. Again, it's more fantastical. I'm enjoying it more.
Less teenage drama and more horrifying shit.
Yeah, but like the teenage drama they do focus on, because it's like so focused for like a chapter or two. It's I don't know. It just focused on like the really tense stuff as opposed to Oh yeah, there's also a character called Moist. I forgot about that.
Moist. I think Moist is with Squealer.
Good old Moist.
Yeah, Skidmark, Moist, Squealer.
Oh yeah, there's like a fucking like a crackhead group.
Yeah, they are the crackheads.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of prejudice going around.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like a lot of these when it comes to these like stories in like comics and manga and stuff, where it is these villains meeting, there's not a lot of racism that happens. There's a lot of like making fun of like talking down to each other, but there's not really like a lot of racist villains in comic books, superhero wise. There's like Red Skull, but even then he's not like a complete dick. Despite being a Nazi, he's not like fucking. He's not like Kaiser. Kaiser's kind of like a piece of shit.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And he cannot keep it to himself for even a minute.
Speaking of keeping it to themselves, no, go on.
Yeah, you go. Oh, I was gonna ask, is Brian black?
Yeah.
Huh.
That has been the case since arc 1, by the way.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they described him as like, I don't know, tall, dark, and handsome, but I don't remember them specifically saying. I guess that's not how like Taylor describes it. I don't know. I think, yeah, I don't know. It was only like until like this chapter that I realized, wait, oh. Yeah, didn't realize. Plus, Brian is kind of like a honky name, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not saying that, it has to be like a stereotypical black name or anything. It's just like, I wouldn't have expected somebody called like Sato to be black either. Brian is just a very white bread type of name.
White bread type of name?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can kind of see it, yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
Anyway, what were you going to say before my fucking stupid tangent?
Oh. No, I was just going to say that, speaking of being unable to keep something to themselves, that is how we get into 5.2, because we saw the attack that Bitch made in the previous interlude, the Brutus interlude.
Yes.
So, yeah, before the Undersiders can leave, Hookwolf of Empire 88 says that Bitch attacked his dog fighting ring. None of the Undersiders knew about this, but Guru manages to ask them to wait for the truce to be over so they can resolve the dispute later. As they leave, Guru decides to punish Bitch. He shoves her into an alley with a hand to her throat, complaining about her two fuck-ups. Being caught when going to check on the money alone, and not telling the others she attacked Hookwolf's ring. When Gru seems about to suggest that they should talk to the boss about replacing Rachel, Tattletale cuts in and explains that the issue was a lack of communication from Bitch's side, not the things she did. Seeing this, Skeeter feels some sympathy for Bitch, thinking the scene she just witnessed isn't that different from her bullying. She thinks about how it's going to be hard turning on the Undersiders, but insists to herself she has to do it so she can become a hero. Then she compliments Bitch for attacking Hookwolf's ring. Like, Taylor, I don't really mean this as a criticism that like Taylor keeps thinking about how she's actually going to do it. Like, no, it's good that it's a persistent thing with her character.
Mm.
But like, not just before, but particularly in this arc, considering the stuff that we see later. This is the arc where Taylor becomes a Skeeter. Thinking about this
Yeah.
line, how she's thinking, well, I kind of like these people. It's going to be hard turning on them after seeing this, and then seeing where it gets to, like what she does in the fight later on. I'm like, reading this story for the first time, I was like, nah, there's no way you're going to do it. You don't understand how tangled in this you are already. And I do like
Yeah.
the like this arc has quite a lot of focus on Beach actually. They do like that she's the first one that we're focusing on.
Mm. Yeah, it's considering that she's supposed to be kind of like the most unlikable and like the most kind of like the outside of the Undersiders. Yeah, no, it was like nice to see focus on her and there's like a more of like an analysis of her as like a character from Taylor and eventually Lisa's perspective. Is this like the chapter where she says like, I'm going to betray them, but only on good terms, or whatever that was?
I think so, yeah. Pretty sure it's this chapter.
Yeah.
Because after this it's then like Taylor and Danny in the mall, so it's probably this chapter.
Yeah, Taylor's definitely not gonna betray them like this. Like, the whole, yeah, I guess it's like intentional or whatever, but I was reading that as like, that's a really stupid way to do it.
Oh yeah, she
Yeah.
is very gung ho in the idea of being a hero.
Yeah, but I think in this arc she did manage to do at least some heroing in comparison to when she robbed a bank.
But also, she gouges a man's eyes out.
Yeah, but that's, it's like Long kind of deserves it. I don't know what he's done, but he's like
Oh,
specifically.
he's not the
But,
protagonist, so he deserves it.
Yeah, yeah, his cock needs to rot off. His eyes need to come out. He needs to be impaled by a million swords by a Nazi. That's how it goes for non-protagonist characters.
He's a punching bag by this point.
Hookwolf is a fucking dork.
Oh, he is such a comic character. Like even his description, like bare chested, and he has this like belt with a swastika on it. Like this guy is a comic book character.
Yeah, he's fucking goofy, but I don't know, it's kind of funny. Yeah, like Nazi Wolverine. It's funny, but like a bit more furry.
Yeah.
And like Hookwolf again just like stands out because all the other names are like, Knight and Glace and fucking
Cavalier.
Money, or whatever the fuck.
There's Cavalier later on.
Yeah. So like when it has like Hookwolf, it like stands out immediately. Is this one line when bitch corrects, I believe. Yeah, bitch corrects somebody saying that her name is bitch. Only panty ass heroes call me Hellhound. It's bitch. Is panty ass like a spelling error? Do you think it's supposed to be pansy ass? I don't think I've ever heard that word. The phrase panty ass.
Panty ass.
Yeah.
Let me see if this. Yeah, I no results coming up like about it as an expression.
Yeah.
And I probably read it as pansy ass as well. It might be a probably a typo.
Once again, Wildbow needs an editor. Tut tut. Minor spelling errors.
Unforgivable, minor spelling errors.
Needs to kill himself. Can't believe it.
Yeah, how dare he be worried with continuing to write instead of getting rid of like, these minor spelling mistakes that don't actually affect the story.
That most people read past anyway.
Yeah, like instead of doing that, he's worried about the next chapter. Sounds
Damn.
unprofessional.
Yeah. I mean, your job as a writer is not tell a story. It's to make sure that everything's all the grammar is correct for everything you write.
Yeah, that's why people review stuff that way. They talk about how good the story is, how good the characters are, and how good the grammar is, because that's obviously what matters.
Mm.
And they'll have to separate all three of them and rank them 1 to 10, because that's how fiction and art works.
Yeah.
It's
You have to have a
always
separate
sliding
scale.
scale.
You need a separate scale for enjoyment and overall.
Oh god,
They are different
enjoyment and
somehow.
overall. Why? Why?
It's almost as bad as when there's a minor animation mistake. Now that's really unforgivable. The fact that these underpaid, overworked animators are too lazy to fix a single piece like coloring of a
Yeah,
sock. Yeah, that really fucking they should kill themselves twice actually.
when it's in a scene where you won't even notice unless someone points it out to you.
Yeah.
Like the harder it is to witness it, then the gravest a sin it is.
You know what's actually, you know who should kill themselves 3 times? Lazy editors. When there's like a podcast that comes out that's like 3 weeks late, and there's supposed to be like, I don't know, for say like a tier list on screen, and then he just kind of like puts it blank and then like filled out in the second. Man, that guy should kill himself 3 times, maybe 3.5.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just a screen cap of the tier list, and then the
yeah,
tier list at the end.
yeah.
There are no zooms. There are no moving cursors on the screen.
No, yeah. Lazy editors, man. What were they thinking?
Now it would be even funnier if, like, in the first couple of episodes of whoever is editing that thing, like around the images used to represent each person talking in the podcast, there was just like a black square around them instead of like
Mm-hmm.
at least getting the avatar there as a circle. That would also be very lazy and
Yeah, I mean, it
I
only
mean,
takes like a second. I don't know why it would take you like 3 episodes to do that.
yeah.
Yeah. Maybe four. Maybe 4 suicides.
Hypothetically, of course, if this were to happen
Oh yeah, hypothetically. Hypothetical suicides.
in
For
Minecraft.
hypothetical laziness. Yeah.
You know what's not hypothetical?
What?
Chapter 5.3.
Yeah, that's real.
It's
Real.
real, and I'm about to prove it. Danny decided to take Taylor shopping before she returned to school after her concussion. She thinks about how the things they're buying are simpler and cheaper than everything Lisa bought her, but it still feels as if it means more because they're things she actually wants. Around the mall, armed men and, as Taylor notices, Battery and Shadowstalker are waiting around in reaction to the ABB's recent bombings, which have been going on daily. Before they leave, Emma and her dad, Alan, notices them and the dads start talking. Seeing Emma's mocking smile, Taylor doesn't even notice when she slaps her across the face, starting a commotion where Danny is trying to explain that she's having a mood swing while Shadowstalker cuffs Taylor's hands, saying they don't need arguments and unpredictable people when everyone is scared and the city is under a curfew. In the car while going home, Taylor finally tells Danny that Emma and her friends are the ones who have been bullying her since the start. This is one of, I believe, 2 chapters that actually focus on this part of the story. Yeah, it's just these
Yeah.
two, 5.3 and 5.4.
Yeah, and what good chapters they are. What neato chapters. I did quickly control F to see, because you said like slap, and I wasn't sure if that was correct. It just says hit. So it could
Yeah,
be when I read it, I was like, she punched Emma, but hit could be anything. You could hit somebody with a baseball bat, and you can hit someone with your fist. It doesn't, or palm.
I really like the way that this is written, where like there are different when you have been writing for a while, you start getting a sense of how to describe the same things in different ways to create different effects. And one of
Mm-hmm.
those techniques is to, instead of describing the movement, you show its after effects that
Yeah.
indicates like speed. Same thing, like it's the same concept in visual media, where like in a manga, a lot of times you don't actually see the punch connecting with the guy's face. You
No.
see the image after the punch has already like punches through his face and is going on. Like that's generally
Well,
where it's drawn because it has more impact that way.
yeah. So like in Monogatari, where Aragi gets like punched. I think it was by by Kanbaru, and like it like cuts for a split second to just like a red, yeah, a
Yeah,
red screen with the words red in the center, because that's what he sees. Yeah, it's a clever thing to do.
yeah, and the way it's written here is it's just the sound of the impact was like a splash of water in my face. I felt a twinge of pain from that gouge one of Peach's dogs had made in my arm when I first met her. Still sore. Emma fell over, bumping into her dad, who dropped the bags he was holding. There were gasps from the crowd around us. So, and after that, there's a line, and my hand was stinging. So it's not I slapped her, which would be faster. Like
Mm,
technically faster. I slapped her would technically be faster. It just wouldn't have the same impact.
yeah.
It's not just about speed. It's about I I, I always
Considering
say like intended in fact because that's how you have to think about it.
considering this is like a first person narrative, like it's like this uncontrollable mood swing, and she doesn't really quite know what she's doing. So, in order to like explaining it this way, describing it this way, it is also for you, the reader, kind of like you're also surprised by the fact that she has just hit Emma, as it's kind of like not slowly, very quickly explains how it happened, like the after effect, as you said.
Yeah. And there is, of course, the question of how much of it even is the mood swings and how much is her finally stepping up after all the tension spilling over. Like, this is someone that is describing everything they do from a specific light because it is a first person narration, so you can't even know to which extent that is actually the concussion.
Mm.
In fact, the writing kind of indicates that it isn't, because before she slaps Emma, Emma is smiling, and it's the same smile she'd had before she reminded me of how my mom
Yeah.
had died in front of everyone. And then they slap. So it's like not saying that it has to be answered, but if if she wasn't in like having mood swings because of the concussion, this would still make perfect sense because she's
Yeah, I mean,
reminding
it's
of that
still like,
moment.
yeah, she'd still be upset, but considering Taylor's somebody who tries her hardest to keep as much in as physically possible, yeah, she wouldn't have done that. Even with everything Emma's done, she still has never
Yeah.
like just hit her at any point. It was just like looking at Emma's smug face, and then just fucking she just fucking snapped in that one moment. And yeah, like the rest of like the her dialogue from here out, it is a lot more it's a lot more biting the way she talks.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah,
does come off like very short sentences,
yeah.
lots of emphasis.
Once again, Danny's the man.
He is.
Taylor's dad's the man.
Taylor's dead,
Both in
not
this chapter.
Danny.
Yeah, yeah. Both this chapter and the next. What a lad. What a good boy. Anything else to say about this? Oh yeah, Alan. Alan, Emma's dad. Get to meet him. Who, as we find out, he seems like relatively okay in this one, and then we see just how much of a fucking, just like a piece of shit sociopath this man is in like the next chapter.
Oh
It's like
yeah.
fuck, it's good. It's good.
In this one, it's like, well, maybe he doesn't know.
Mm.
But the next one's like, nah, fuck this man.
Yeah,
That,
where Emma gets it from.
yeah, there is a moment that's like a moment of betrayal in 5.4 that kind of like gets to me. It's like makes me physically ill, like what he says.
Yeah, not since like I think it was like arc 2 where they are all bullying her in the hallway, and yeah, you know, Emma says like crying like when your mom died or whatever. Uh, the next chapter is the only other time where I have felt that very specific like, yeah, that feeling of like ill, as like you just kind of like see this fucking torment Taylor's going through. And it's like, yeah, it's like gut wrenching.
Well,
Yeah,
with
that's like the only second time. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, with that, I think we can go to
Yeah,
5.4,
sure.
which is
Sure,
a
sure, sure.
pretty big one. We skip to Taylor and Danny in her school, waiting to be called in for a meeting. After Taylor told Danny the identity of her bullies, he called Emma's father, who called in a meeting with the school staff. Taylor starts exposing every harassment she suffered. She kept a long list of it, documenting everything that had happened and keeping emails that were sent to her. She points out that Mr. Gladly himself had said he knew something was going on and had caught a glimpse of the abuse, which he does to deny. Despite the extensive list and some help from a teacher, Taylor can't convince the staff to give the three girls in-school suspension because that would run the risk of making them fail the school year. Taylor explains that detention would be a vacation for them, that she wants to be transferred to Arcadia High, and that having the three girls be out would only make it easier for them to take revenge on her there. It gets to the point where Alan, Emma's dad, says that if they don't accept what is being offered and they try to press charges, all that will happen is that the matter will be solved based on who runs out of money first, which would be Taylor and Danny. Without her guarantee of being transferred and feeling as if Emma, Sophia, and Madison were rewarded with detention, Taylor leaves, calls Tattletale, and says she wants to hit someone. Tattletale says they're getting ready for the strike on the ABB. Taylor wants in.
Yeah. Yeah. It does. I noticed the way this chapter starts and ends. It starts off with a huge pet peeve of mine: being asked to arrive for a specific time, then being made to wait. 15 minutes was about the limit of my patience. Which, you know, I'm right there. I've fucking. Oh boy, I've had a friend who was like late all the time, despite the fact that he was always the one to be like, oh yeah, let's meet up in like 15 minutes. And I'm like, oh, you're fucking stupid. And then it ends. It ends with, yeah, Taylor wanting to punch somebody. Uh, yeah,
I'll be there in 20
out of 20, yeah,
minutes.
it'd be in 20 minutes. Yeah, it's yes, it just starts and ends with frustration. It's a frustration sandwich, actually. It's actually the whole chapter is frustration. Just
Oh yeah,
fucking yeah,
nothing good happens here.
yeah,
It's all anxiety and frustration and injustice.
yeah. I do think Taylor should have brought up some of the biggest things, the bigger things, as opposed to like the more minor ones.
Yeah.
But I guess she just really does have no proof that she was put into a locker full of dirty tampons and sent to a psychiatric ward.
Well, that they know
Yeah,
because like
but they don't know it was like who specifically did it. I think
oh yeah,
there's
yeah.
no proof. There's no proof. They can't pin it on Emma and Sophia and the other one.
Yeah. I would also pin this on Taylor just not being that good at negotiation, which is
Yeah,
something that we saw like
there's
in
like
other moments.
there's like hints of her being able to like navigate it, but yeah, she's definitely still 15 or whatever.
16, I believe.
16. Okay.
She also was like really expecting them to be lenient towards her, to get the chance of showing everything. She does make a very good point, I think, when I think it's the school director that tells her to like you can't name everything, you have to stick to the important ones, and she's like they are all important. Like
Yeah.
that is a good like maybe to someone that has not been exposed to bullying or bullying stories, that is something that I think would be hard to get across. That like it's not just like a joke that you make at someone. There is a reason why a lot of these people that go through serious bullying ends up traumatized and or violent. So her being like they are all relevant,
Mm.
and the other side not being willing to actually give her the time to go through everything, like at that point it becomes obvious that, oh, this is not going to go the way she expects, because they are not even uh, looking at this with the seriousness that it deserves, because they are more worried about like unrelated shit, like issues with school staff and then not being able to manage everything, which is something that way back in interlude 1, like Danny himself thinks about this, how like the school staff is clinically understaffed, he thinks. And so he
Yeah.
understands that they can't, like they aren't able to actually fix everything, but they are clearly not like engaging this the way it should, by the way that I'll just allow Alan to do whatever he wants. And how like I don't really, one thing that really pisses me off is like the idea of detention, because yeah, I never understood why you would like put someone in detention. Like if someone doesn't want to go to school and you put them in detention, that is not going to help them in any way. Like she's absolutely
No.
correct in saying that that is rewarding them. And like, oh, they're going to run the risk of failing the school year. Fuck no. If you are going to fail the school year because of a week, then you were already going to fail either way.
Yeah, suspension and detention aren't particularly great punishments. I mean, there's like a part of it that's like, well, I don't want to be kept behind an extra hour anyway, when I could be doing anything else. But at the same time, like, it's not. Yeah, you're right. It's not really like it doesn't make me want to do school more. It's just like it's more of what I don't want to do, or suspension, which is, yeah, I got to stay home, and a lot of kids that end up getting suspensions, they already have parents that aren't particularly disciplining them that much. So it is like a week-long vacation for them.
Yeah, because while
Yeah.
they are like home, the parents are going to be out for work. So the time that they would be
Yeah.
at school, they're just going to be playing video games or something.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do like how like you can see Taylor trying out different tactics as she gets more and more distressed. She tries to present everything they don't allow her. Then she tries to lean on Mr. Gladly, who misrepresents what happened. At one point, she just says, "Maybe I'm going to bring a weapon to school, like to see if that works."
Yeah, and like the way she just sort of like, yeah, punish him does nothing. Just send me to a good school. That's enough. But
Yeah,
or when she does like call out Alan on his bullshit and is like, I've noticed you haven't called me by my name at any point, which is like a tactic to make me seem like less human.
yeah. And
Yeah,
he is like evil lawyer, man.
he is evil lawyer man. Yeah, as all lawyer men are. Yeah, except for Jim Carrey in Liar Liar. He's a good lawyer man. But it's to get there.
Yeah, the part that I mentioned that like makes me physically ill is specifically when Alan says, like, you can press charges. Here's what is going to happen. I have more money than you, so I'm going to win. And Danny is like, I thought we were friends. And Alan says, we were, but I have to protect my daughter. I would punch this man if I was in that room. Like Taylor stops. I had to stop to willfully push the bugs away. I'd be like, nah, swarm them.
Yeah, there's like at a certain point, because it already kind of happened after it was like the trigger incident. It's just like no matter how much she tries to talk, there really is no way out of it. So you might as well just fucking
Yeah,
grab 100 cockroaches and fucking put him in Emma's vagina and Alan's butthole.
Yeah, like there is. This is where like you kind
I
of
think I
have
said
like
Ellen instead of Emma. That was whoops. Whatever,
I didn't even
similar names.
notice. Yeah.
I noticed. I don't want any cockroaches in Ellen's vagina. That's gross.
It is.
Yeah. Emma's, on the other hand, that's funny.
Well, you are saying that. I am not.
Madison, that was the other name, yeah.
Yeah. Madison, Emma, and Sophia. And this is one like a good point with like way earlier when Taylor spoke with Mr. Gladly. I think that was on arc 2. She said like looking for
Yeah.
help within this structure is not going to solve things. And now she's seeing that that is actually true. But at the same time, like it is hard in the sense that like eye for an eye justice, or I think that's how it's put in this chapter. Like that
Yeah.
actually doesn't solve things, but it also doesn't mean that they are being fair with the situation. So Taylor
No.
really doesn't see like she sees no alternative here. She like tries to get it done. She's like, well, it's not working. Fuck it. I'm going to like spend this stress somewhere else before I kill these people. Before I become a school shooter.
Yeah, find a healthy way to deal with your problems.
Oh yeah.
Such as scooping out a man's eyeballs. That's healthy things we do to
Yeah.
relax.
Yeah, like you can't like murder someone because they would know it was you. So murder other people that can't be traced back to you.
Yeah.
And this whole situation is very in tune with the whole theme of like being a cape, of donning on a mask to hide behind your traumas. Like we see that happening step by step here. She can't solve this, okay, so I'm going to use my powers on someone because I can.
Yeah, as she said in the previous arc, like, why the fuck are you a supervillain? Escape. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess Skid is kind of an appropriate name, I guess.
That's true. Yeah, I never thought about it in
Yeah.
that sense. Oh, that's all I have for 5.4.
Yeah. Yeah, what a good chapter. That's a good one. 5-5.
Okay, so 5.5, I have in my summary, chapter starts in a gay way, and then
Oh yeah.
Coyle gave the idea of having all the groups of villains spread their members around in different groups to attack, so none could try something without their members becoming hostages to the others. The Undersiders come up with a code language to communicate with each other without the rest of their group knowing what's happening, and to make sure they're not being forced into anything. Skiller and Peach end up in a group, and they have a brief conversation on the way. With Peach saying she notices that Taylor is mad, and that she should have hit the people giving her a hard time to teach them not to fuck with her. Taylor says she did just that. Which, by the way, I think there is a typo here, where
Oh.
Bitch is going to say teach them not to fuck with you, but she says should hit him, teach them to fuck with you. I'm pretty sure the word not is missing there.
Oh yeah, teach them to fuck with you. Yeah.
Anyway,
That's true.
yeah. Taylor says she did just that. They meet with the other villains to form their attack team. Kaiser, Fania, and Mania from Empire 88, the girl with the sun motif from the Travelers, Neuter and Labyrinth from Frontline's crew, and 2 armed mercenaries hired by Coil. Kaiser ends up taking the leadership role. I think it's important to like how what I mentioned before, where this is the arc where Taylor becomes a Skitter. I think it's important to that understanding that she's not working with the Undersiders. Like it's her and the bitch, and she's now having to deal with things without having as much support. And we do see how she almost like immediately starts taking on a certain role within the group.
Yeah, because she has like, as her powers like developed, she's like get even better at data gathering. So she is she's better at being like a leader position. Because bitch is kind of unruly, but as it explained, like she does sort of follow like a hierarchy if it's there. And Kaiser is of course like a leader guy, but he's also like a dick who does not give a shit about the rest of them. So she without asking or someone asking her or being told what to do, like leadership like positions, like I think like everyone's just kind of, if there's like a group of people, everyone will wait for the person, like somebody to designate themselves as a leader. And there's not often not like much argument to be had if you just step up and say, okay, we'll just do this. Everyone will be like, yeah, nice. They don't care what they're gonna eat. They don't care where they're gonna go. They just like they want at least somebody to say something. And yeah, Taylor, without even really thinking about it, without ever like pondering on it, maybe not even realizing it, she's already like become, as you said, like Skitter, somewhat of a leader, leader of the bugs, leader of the villains.
Hive, right?
Hive. Yeah.
Yeah, and the difference is that like Kaiser is a leader to the people that are already under him, but
Yeah.
Skitter seems much more worried with actually getting shit done.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a very short chapter. It's mostly just to show us who is in which group.
Yeah. See.
And all of this, like aside from the people we already hate on the basis of being Nazis, all of the people that we get to spend some time with here are likable, I would say. Like they're all endearing some way.
Yeah, like Sundancer and Labyrinth. What's the fucking
Neuter.
what's the list? Newta's cool.
Yeah, and of course,
Yeah.
just two guys with weapons hired by Coil.
Yeah. Just on the roof. Yeah, we don't really like get to see too much of Kaiser and Fenya and Menya because they run off their own immediately, and we don't see anything about the snipers. But the rest of the group, we see how they operate. It's a fun clash of different. Yeah, because like it is like a random group of powers, but it does get used in a way that's like interesting
Yeah,
as the fights unfold.
They're not really like set up as a group that has like a specific strategy, or they don't really have a chance to think about how their powers are like work in tandem. And
I don't think when they were put into groups that was really thought. It doesn't seem like, okay, well we need like a couple heavy hitters and a couple of more. It seems kind of random. From the in-universe perspective, not from the writer's perspective.
yeah, and this is a situation that like allows Skitter to really do her thing, because it's not just about data collecting, it's also like the multitasking that she's able to do. So this is like, I don't, as you said, I don't think she even realizes this, but this is like kind of her jam. Like this is what she's actually good at.
Yeah.
And they absolutely weren't thinking about how to use their powers with one another because of Sendancer's power. Like they really weren't thinking about it, because if she's fighting, then kind of like no one can fight around her.
You know how you said like she really became Skitter in this chapter or like this arc. I think I have to agree with you. It's all like subconscious, but she is becoming like the Skitter, the villain, because she says, "No, I stopped her. It's not. I'll bug you about it later when your attention is divided." Pun intended. It's she's even making bug puns like a villain. Yeah. Fucking, Mr. Freeze, he's a smart guy, but he just fucking starts making ice puns for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
And it's the same.
I think that like Alec asks pun intended and she's like, what? So like she doesn't even notice, but it is there.
I really hope at one point in the story bitch says, hey man, you're barking up the wrong tree. I hope she says that at some point.
What if the whole story was written like that? Do you remember? Do you remember the tier list when we talked about ages? Because
No.
there's this meme about ages, and you will understand why eventually. I'll tell you about it, but it's like this particular meme that is like ages saying, "Go ahead, Jack, slash the word, but it won't work because I'm the people's shield. They're ages." Like, it could be like that all the time.
Oh, imagine if the story started with Taylor saying, "Take that, you worm." That would be really special.
No, like it has to be someone saying that to her, and
Oh yeah.
when we have this scene of her like in her lowest, feeling really sad, she has to like look at the camera and say, "I'm just a worm."
We need somebody, a character, just saying the word skitter, and then Taylor going, "Say that again." What, you mean this? No. The other part. Skitter? Yeah. I like the sound of that. We need that. That's what we need.
I like the sound of that. Can you imagine like Tattletale rapping?
Oh man. If this story ends in a dance party, I will take back every bad thing I've ever said about Worm. If it just ends with them getting down to fucking like Smash Mouth. And I saw her face, and now I'm a believer. If it just sounded like that, yeah.
Did you see that meme of like a bunch of hands like holding milk, and it's like shown in protagonist, "I can't hold all of this milk," and it's shown in protagonist's friends, "Smile and approach," and it's like 5 people holding a lot of milk in their hands together.
No.
Oh no. Let me find this because it's something that would happen in this worm fanfic that we are writing right now.
Imagine if in the dance party ending, just like Taylor just like does the worm, and like all of her friends are like clapping and cheering for her, and it's like, damn, now I've finally wormed my way into their hearts, and that's how it ends.
Okay, it's in the this feces chat.
Okay, cool, awesome. So no one else can see it. What the fuck? What the fuck?
It's so good. Yeah, the first line of Pact is, "I made a pact."
Oh, packed. I thought you were saying backed.
No, pact
B.
with a P.
With a P. Okay.
I made a pact.
You see, backed is backed is like would be a bad name for anything. Like banked. What does that fucking mean?
It would.
What possibly could the story be about? Backed.
Well,
But no, packed makes more sense. Yeah.
pact is like the American Yumineko, and it's very good.
Okay.
But we are not reading that one.
No. Yeah. Yeah. No, let's not read it. Let's not ever fucking do a podcast about any Wild Bow story ever again.
Oh, I will read it. I just don't know about podcasts.
Yeah, no podcast about it. Yeah. Next time, let's do something cool like Monogatari series. That'd be cool. That'd be funny.
We will.
In like a year and a half's time when we finally finish.
When we are finally free of these shackles, these strings.
Man, imagine if fucking we're like halfway through. We're like fucking arc like 23, and Wild Bows just starts like adding more arcs to this.
Yeah, the worm edit that is supposed to have come out for like a decade finally starts happening, and we have to read the whole edited story.
I don't want to do that.
Oh,
Ugh. No.
well, Wild Boy, if you are
Unless,
hearing this, wait a little longer, please.
yeah, unless it has like a bunch of puns, like we've been saying, then I would read it. And if Taylor had like a really funny costume, like, yeah,
Anyway,
yeah,
going back to seriousness.
yeah. What is this what is this chapter about? Oh yeah, fucking. They go to attack the Asian bad boys. That's what happened.
Yeah.
That's cool.
5.6.
Oh yeah, she has a bunch of fucking. She now has like a bunch of bugs in her costume as well. That's cool. That's smart.
Smart. She does
Yeah,
do
good.
some smart stuff throughout this. Like just
Yeah.
different ways of using her power. It's still the same power, it's just better at using it. So Skitter makes some small talk with Sundancer, the member of the travelers in their group, and though she doesn't say what it is, she does say that there are issues among the travelers. Issues she just wants to call drama because that would be an euphemism. Kaiser, Fenya, and Mania don't seem keen on working with the others, deciding to split to attack the ABB building by themselves. The others coordinate an attack, mainly Skitter, who has experience fighting the ABB, and Neuter, who helps direct each of them to their roles. Using her bugs, Skitter maps out the place and gathers them in a humanoid-looking swarm to trigger some of Pakuda's bombs. Peach runs in with her dogs to join the fight, but doesn't find an opportunity to do much. The sudden appearance of a new figure clues Taylor in to the fact that Oni Lee is there, remembering his teleportation abilities. She recalls Peach to pass on that information and finds out that Lung is also there. I think I should also read 5.7 because this is just like a very long fight from here on out.
Oh yeah, like Oni Lee. Yeah, might as well.
Yeah. So 5.7. Skitter runs into the building, not wanting to leave Bitch alone with an assassin like Oni Lee and looking to rescue Neuter. For a good while, Oni Lee kicks their asses, teleporting non-stop, leaving clones behind that attack them for a few seconds before disappearing in a puff of smoke that hinders their visibility. He hurts all of them at least once before Skitter realizes that Oni Lee takes her bugs with him as he teleports. She uses this to keep track of him, but they are still unable to stop him for a while. Labyrinth does something with the land around them, warping it and messing with Oni Lee's teleportation. One of Coil's snipers manages to follow Skitter's guiding to shoot Oni Lee until he teleports out of her range, retreating.
Yeah. I remember when Oni Lee was first described that he does the whole he like teleports away, but his clone, Dust clone, carries a bomb and he uses that to do like terrorist stuff.
Yeah.
Surprised he didn't pull any of those moves. I don't think he did. Considering.
No,
Wait,
I
did
don't
he?
think he does.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's like other people.
Though it is funny that
considering that Bakuda is having put all these bombs around, I expect him to have like a surplus of like cool little bomb gadgets.
Yeah. Though I think it is funny that he like puffs into a cloud of cocaine at the end.
Oh yeah.
Like it's not actually cocaine, but we get actual cocaine in this arc, so I can't not think that it's a cloud of cocaine. That's how they make the drug. He just spawns cocaine in.
It would be cool if there was like, I don't know, if what he puffs away into kind of is dependent on his surroundings, or like what he like last touched. Like if he's at the beach,
Yeah.
The clone is like made out of sand. But if he's like on a road, then he's shit out of luck because it's like a fucking pavement that's like just like concrete.
True.
Whatever. Yeah, like if you have like that, that'd be cool. That'd be nice because then we could have cocaine clones. That'd be funny.
Yeah, aside from just like Skitter being smarter about using her power by having like bugs around her in case she needs them for an emergency. I do like how it builds up on her like having gained experience, and so she imitates like what Brian did, making a humanoid shape with his darkness. She does that and manages to trip like the bombs that Bakuda has left around. So I guess that's why Only doesn't have any of them, because she blew all of the traps up as well. And also, he could like just have like a dynamite with him or something.
like a smaller bomb. Like Bakuda is very insistent that she, can make any sort of crazy little bomb she could possibly want.
Yeah.
So I don't know, you could have all sorts of crazy stuff.
I also just like not really the descriptions because we don't get much of those here, but just the way that she gets like a lay of the land with her bugs. I think Wildbow does a good
Yeah.
job at making that work in prose, which is like to just not dwell on it too much.
Mm.
Because if you start describing, then it just becomes like, then why am I not seeing it? Like these.
Yeah, it's better if there's like, because it's not like she can get all of the information. She's
Yeah,
not gonna know what, like, at least not now. She's not gonna know what the color of the room looks like, or whatever. She's not gonna know what the lighting is like. She just knows that's like, oh, there's a bunch of people in their underwear. She knows that there's a couple of who's on what floor. She knows like a bit of something.
yeah, it's just like smart usage of the power.
Yeah.
Like once you've committed to have a character that has this kind of power, like okay, then how do you use it for different circumstances? And particularly in a story that is written in prose, where you can't really actually just show things, which like I have seen like, and to be honest, I don't think this is like a common criticism, but I have seen criticism of people saying that they don't like Taylor's power because like they have trouble following the descriptions. I think that's an exaggeration because there's actually very little of it. Like
Yeah.
I don't understand why it would be hard to wrap your head around why she fights the way she does. Like yeah, she's not going to like throw herself into stuff if she doesn't have a good reason for. And like I don't know, I just think there is some
I mean,
exaggeration.
what it would have been better if she had just like gathered up a bunch of nondescript bugs and like made like a fist out of it and just punched guys with it.
Yeah.
I think that would, that's how that's how I can like actually visualize it. This whole like small pieces of like data points that Taylor has to work with. I think that's just like that's just silly.
Also, like for as cool as it would be to see like this like cloud, this like swarm of bugs coming around her,
Mm.
that would be a cool image. But like think about this as something visual. I don't think I would like seeing bug CGI as much as I like just reading about the swarm and imagining it in my head.
Yeah. What if like what if like Taylor just like made a guy out of bugs, and then like that bug guy tapped O'Neilly on the shoulder, and he was like, "Oh!" Turns around and he gets like punched. That'd be funny. That'd be cool.
It would be funny. It's that huge like cockroach man.
Yeah. Like, what if Taylor came in like surfing on a swarm of bees?
So many bees that she can like the bees just push her up like from the sole of her boots so she can just fly.
Oh yeah. What if she was like flying around with bees? Yeah.
But yeah, like through before.
Oh no.
Okay.
What if she's fighting Lung and she goes, "You may be a dragon, but I'm a dragonfly," and then gets a bunch of dragonflies to like fly her off. That would be cool.
I mean, it would be memorable.
I'm sorry, Wildbow's an idiot and is like isn't as good a writer as I am. You know, we can't all be born gifted.
Yeah, no. The only other, the only two things I have to say is that I do like how, like, just on the basis of how Oni Lee's power works, like if it wasn't for Labyrinth, they would be pretty fucked up here. And
Yeah.
he's not really powerful. His power is very simple, but they just don't have the correct tools to deal with. They weren't ready for him.
Yeah, it's not good for like a lot of yeah. Yeah, none of them are particularly like a good match sets for somebody like Only Lee besides from Labyrinth.
And also, you might not know this, but this coil sniper guy is like a big meme in the fan base because
Oh,
people
really?
people really like how he's just a guy without any powers, but he's able to keep up. Like he fucks Only up a little bit.
Okay. Do we ever get to see an interlude with him?
No.
Damn.
At least no, I'm pretty sure not. He might show up again,
Does
but not like with focus.
does the one fan base just kind of take like the smallest, most insignificant thing and then just like makes it a meme?
Kinda. There are some
Yeah.
pretty big moments that are memes, but those are those you aren't meant to
Yeah.
know. But some of them are, yeah, a lot of them are very minor.
Yeah, there's like this cool guy, and what's
Like
Browbeat? Is Browbeat like just a
Browbeat.
complete fucking meme? Like
Yeah, and Greg.
Greg? Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. I fucking yeah. There is like a cape called Greg, isn't there? There's like a couple of them that just like it's just their name or whatever.
Or am I getting the names mixed? Isn't Greg the guy from school that watches anime? Or is that not Greg?
Oh yeah, Greg. Yes, yeah. And they have like there's like fucking fan fiction of Greg.
Yeah. Very
Hold on, I think he
important
might be cutting
character.
out. Yeah, no,
Okay.
Greg. Yeah, Greg. Yeah, oh yeah, fucking Greg versus the Universe, or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. Thankfully, no one here knows about that.
Okay. Any final thoughts on the Only Lee fight?
No. In fact, I should have read 5.8 as well because it's a very short chapter. So 5.8. Occupied with her quest of being a hero, Taylor does everything she can to help Neuter, directing Sundancer to help her and ordering Bitch around. Because of the toxins in Neuter's skin, it takes some time, but they manage to patch up his wound and Bitch leaves carrying him on Brutus's shoulders. The fight between the other villains makes its way to the room they are in. Fenya and Mania break through a wall, while Kaiser seems unbothered by the destruction. Lung is there without his mask, he looks monstrous. Surveying the room, he recognizes Skitter. I don't have many thoughts on 5.8. It kind of just like serves as a bridge between this moment and the bigger fight. The only thing there that really stands out is like Taylor thinking that she has to help Neuter because she wants to be a hero, and that's what a hero would be. And just
Oh yeah.
the complication of like quick thinking and multitasking. She like sends this. She like asks Peach to get some stuff. She starts working on helping Neuter. She sends cockroaches to like gather a bunch of money that she just found on the side. And she's also thinking about like there's a room there that she just like to think about. There's cocaine, like just a good showing of how much stuff she can pay attention to at the same time because of how her power works. But that's kind
Yeah,
of all there is, really.
it's got a it's like it was like an interesting show, like of her still being a hero. Yeah, it was cool when Lung shows up. Yeah, um, yeah, no, I agree. There's nothing too much really to say about this. I think like at first I was kind of confused about Taylor's experience with like medical stuff, but yeah, then I remember it was like somewhat like explained previously, but like yeah, her knowledge and stuff that she researched.
Yeah, I think that's when she is in the Undersiders hideout for the first time. I think she talks about having taken like first aid classes
Yeah,
or whatever the
basic
fuck you
first
call
aid. Yeah,
those.
yeah,
Oh, I guess that leaves 5.9.
yeah. We can just like move on. Long fight. The long
Yeah.
fight.
The summary for this is a lot longer. Fenia, Mania, Kaiser, Skitter, Sundancer, plus Angelica and Judas fight against Lung. Kaiser is their main offense, sprouting swords from every surface, some big enough to collapse the roof with their weight alone. Fenia and Mania, in their giantesses form, can keep up with Lung for a while, defending each other when there's need, and though Skitter can't do anything against him, for a while he's unable to catch up to her. Despite this, Skitter knows that they're not going to win, because Lung heals and becomes stronger the longer a fight goes, and they haven't really scored a big hit on him. She tries to argue that Kaiser shouldn't hurt the powerless human thugs Lung has with him, to what Kaiser responds with "This is war," though I don't have that written here, but he's obviously just doing it because it is racist. Sundancer joins the fight after being convinced by Skitter, summoning a miniature sun hot enough to melt concrete and crumple furniture in a heap of flames. Even Lung can't stand against it, and Kaiser pushes him towards the orb, making him fall unconscious with the proximity. Kaiser then impales Lung with a spear. All of it only serves to make Lung more powerful. He doesn't die despite having been summoning a spear through the heart, and makes quick work of Kaiser, Fenia, and Mania. Sundancer can't use her power anymore now that Lung can control flames, to the point of stopping her power from being used. Peach and Brutus come back. Lung throws the dog away as if he was nothing and grabs hold of both Peach and Skitter. Taking advantage of the fact that he's underestimating her, Skitter uses her bugs to dab a caterpillar into Newter's toxic blood and a cockroach to press it into his eyes. Within moments, he falls unconscious, and Skitter gouges his eyeballs out to keep him from chasing them if he wakes up soon. Before leaving, Skitter tells Fenia that Kaiser should remember who saved him from Lung when it comes time to decide what will be done out of Peach's attack on Hookwolf's dogfighting ring. This is a pretty big chapter as well, just like word
Yeah.
count wise.
As I sort of mentioned before, yeah, it's a bit long chapter, but like I mentioned before, when using these powers in interesting ways, I think the moment where Taylor uses one of the bugs to get fucking what's his name?
Neuter.
Neuter's toxins, and then Neuter's powers, then use it on Lung. That was cool. That was cool. That was good. That was good.
Yeah. Very, very obviously set up
Yeah,
now
that
that
was
you
quite
look back in
creative.
retrospect as well.
Yeah. Yeah, which is what I meant. Like, not sure like how much they were in universe like put together, because like you wouldn't really expect that or think that, but like on the writer's side, you're like, yeah, that's definitely
Yeah.
probably the plan, or at the very least, like Walpo wrote Taylor into the corner, and then figured out a way to like Howard's. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who we were talking about. We might have been talking about Wildbow. We might have been talking about someone else. But whereas, like, writing the protagonist to deal with as much as possible, and forcing yourself as a writer to come up with a creative solution, versus like how Fukumoto does it. Nobuyuki Fukumoto. He like writes a solution, I believe, and then kind of like expands on it, like sort of like spirals it outwards.
Yeah, it was what we were talking about because he has said that he intentionally does that.
Okay. Yeah, it's just kind of like different paths to the same type of writing style. Story beats.
Also, have to say, I really like Kaiser's power. Think it would
Oh
look
yeah,
very interesting, like visually.
yeah. It's pretty cool.
And he doesn't really seem
Um,
to have like much of a limitation. Like it's pretty chill throughout the whole fight.
yeah, though he's like good. He's good at seeing like unflappable, so we don't know what's happening.
Yeah. The scene where like after it seems as if they killed him and Lung gets up and there is this description of how like Lung picks Kaiser up and like starts like just throwing him against the wall. Like that is a very
Yeah,
like anime beatdown. Like I'm pretty sure there's a scene like that in a lot of shonen where a big guy just picks up another by the foot and starts slamming him down or something.
yeah, like throwing him around like a rag doll, like a toy.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the moment where we have like that whereas like there's like a bunch of like lasers shooting around, and they're like flying in the sky like lasers, and like pew, 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 and you can't really kind of comprehend what's going on, but people think it's peak, so don't do that again. Oh, and then everything bursts into cubes. Yeah, that's fucking Nakamura, whatever his fucking name is. Yutaka Nakamura, might be. I don't know. That one famous animator guy.
Probably Yutaka Nakamura is
Yeah,
famous.
he animates a lot of big fight scenes and shit breaks into cubes. Though I think it was always executed best in Space Dandy, Episode 1.
I have not
Everything else
seen
is...
Space Dandy.
Oh man, we gotta watch Space Dandy together.
We got
That's
it.
a good fucking show.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I'm going to like it from what I have seen, like just of clips all around.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, but it's good. It's got a lot of really good. I don't know. We'll fucking talk about Space Dandy later, but yeah, I like it.
I like Sundancer. Think her power is horrifying.
Oh yeah, she just creates like a sun or whatever. Yeah, it was cool.
She's also face tanks his flames, because apparently she is entirely immune to flames. Apparently.
Yeah, both her and her costume, which seems to be, it's like a thing that I'm willing to always accept, is that their costume's not being destroyed, or like, if it's a character stretching, that their costume also stretches. That
Yeah.
if they teleport, the clothes go with them. I don't like. You don't have to subvert everything. So just like let them keep their fucking costumes, man. You don't need to. Well, if they were speedster, his fucking shoes would like. Oh, shut up, man.
Yeah. The soles of his boot would explode.
Would it be really funny if like she got hit by a blast of flames and then she was like okay, but then she looked down and she was like completely naked and it was like oh no. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that really fucking improve the story?
That would happen in an anime.
Yeah, I think that happens in Fairy Tail actually.
It happens multiple times in Fairy Tail.
It happens every single fucking arc. To Lucy, particularly.
Every arc in Fairy Tail has a moment where no one can do anything, and we follow Lucy for like a whole episode of her getting beaten down, losing her clothes, and then at the end she actually does something. It's like, oh, she was useful. She did the same thing for the 12th time in a row.
Yeah. She believed in her relationship and her bond with the celestial spirits. And then and once again comes like the only person that has any amount of spirit keys. Everyone else has fucking like 1 or 2, and she has like 1,000,000 of them.
For some reason.
Yeah. She's just the only person in the world who's able to fucking, keep a friendship with 12 people, apparently.
And then Natsu does his thing, which is to make his flames even hotter.
Mm-hmm,
and that's how he beats them every time.
And then Gray, you see, he's kind of like Natsu's rival, and so he has ice while Natsu has fire. You see, because they're like opposing elements. You see, like one's hot and one's cold. You see, so like they kind of like, and so like Natsu's like hot-headed while Gray is like cool. You know what I mean? It's kind of like smart. You wouldn't get it because you read one, but I read Fairy Tail. But
God, I can't imagine like being a Hiro Mashima fan and looking at every single one of his mangas. And like, have you taken a look at his most recent stuff, like, and how he's obviously not interested in drawing a new design whatsoever?
Nah, it's fine. It's fun. Shut up. It's fun. I used to have like I used to also hate him, but like then I was like, the guy is he's just like the most fun-loving guy in the whole fucking universe. Like,
he found his thing and he's unwavering in it. That is respectable.
Yeah, he just like does the thing he wants to do. It's cool. And like there's like a 4-coma manga by one of his assistants, which is I think it's like literally called like being an assistant to Hiro Mashima. And like she just explains like how much of just like a fucking goofball he is to work with. Because he just will walk up to like one of his like assistants, like ask what their fetish is, and without judgment or question, the second they give him, it's like sick, and then we'll just like make a villain with the power to be able to do like one guy had like the power, they had like a fetish of turning people to stone, so he was like neat, cool, awesome, and then like the next arc of Eden Zero, there was like a villain who was able to turn women to stone, had like a collection.
That's actually cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or this one time where Hiramashima, it was like yeah, like at the time the latest Monster Hunter game came out, so he bought all of his assistants a copy of it, and then gave them the day off, and they all just sat around playing Monster Hunter.
Oh, I heard about that one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He's just a fun-loving guy. You know, he's not the smartest cookie. He's not trying to create some masterpiece, but he never. That was never his intention, I think. He just wanted to have fun, and he's doing it. Could it be better? Could it be better fun? Yes, it could be better fun, but it's.
And he also like doesn't stop. Like he finishes a
No,
series and next month he has a new one.
or
Like
just makes more Fairy Tale. Yeah, he like finished it and then made 1,000 Year Quest like almost immediately.
I still hate him though.
Yeah, that's fine. Fairy Tale is a better name than Worm, though.
It is a better name than Worm, yeah.
Though also it is, it's like tail spelt like
Yeah, but
differently.
Fairy Tale, like you kind of get a sense of what the story is just from the name. Worm is a
yeah,
name that only makes sense in retrospect.
yeah.
So any thoughts on
Oh yeah, right.
gouging a
Worm.
man's eyes out?
Yeah, that was cool. Once again, beginning meets the end. It starts off with Taylor just being like, "Oh, what? Why is he mad at you? Oh, I made his crotch rot off," and then it ends with her gouging his fucking eyes out. It's
He
yeah,
never learns.
yeah, and I hope to see more of it in the future.
He's like Lung is like that gag villain that always gets speed up easily. He's like Uber in the lead, but every time he gets speed, he loses a part of his body to the same person. She just keeps mutilating him and he keeps coming back.
What if Uber and Leet and Lung all teamed up? Wouldn't that be cool?
He would
And
probably
like
kill them.
yeah, and somehow like Lung is always the one that gets like hurt the most, despite being the most powerful. Yeah,
Like Uber and Lee's just coast on how powerful he is to get stuff done, and he's always the one like walking back like dickless, eyeless. Next time it's going to be his ass. They're going to carve his whole ass out.
gonna fucking steal his nipples, steal his nose. Oh man, imagine if Taylor gets his fucking nose and it's like, I got your nose. Oh, wouldn't that be fucking terrific?
Like next time they're going to capture him, like strap him down to a chair, and Taylor's going to be holding his nose out, like, oh, your nose is going to grow back, and I'm going to cut it again, and I'm going to have. Then she has like one nose in each hand. They keep like using him to produce new nipples, like just shaving new nipples off of him. I'm starting to understand why the Worm fan base is so unserious. This story does something to you.
Yeah, it does. It's not like there is a bleakness and a dourness to it, but it also is like a superhero story, so it's just like inherently is stupid and silly,
Yeah.
and it doesn't 100% run from it, which is good, but it also lets other people run with it. Like no one's making like goofy fan fiction jokes about like the brothers Karamazov or whatever. Like, just like fucking serious stories. Or like Das Boot. Well, Das Boot has some like funny moments. But like, actually, fucking, what am I saying? Like every single masterpiece that's ever been written has sex and or comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every single one. It's a part of the human condition.
It is a part
every
of the
single
human
one.
condition, and it's also a part of the human condition.
Yes, yeah, that's that's very specifically, yeah, yeah. but that that was intentional. Cause I explained this before to somebody. It was like Das Boot, Legend of the Galactic Heroes, and War and Peace. They're all kind of the same thing, right? They're all these very long, very old, like uh war masterpieces that yeah that are very serious and are very beloved and considered like some of the best of their respective mediums. But what they also have in common is the fact that like there are scenes in all three of them of soldiers getting completely shit-faced and being silly and having sex with prostitutes because they are aware that they're gonna die. And they, possibly tomorrow, you know, they're going off to war, so of course they're gonna spend the last night home just like getting drunk and yeah, like having sex with prostitutes, because why wouldn't they? And yeah, like it doesn't like take away from them as masterpiece. It's not like suddenly now it's like, oh, well, see, it's just all jokes. No, it still like is serious. Still says stuff about like war. It still is this long epic. But yeah, again, because it's all part of the human condition, and the human condition also has those scenes of funny moments and prostitute fucking. Actually, yeah, the third movie. So you know, like if you ever like want to put in a joke or a sexy lady, and you're like, oh man, this, I don't know, it's you're not necessarily making your story worse or less
Yeah,
of a masterpiece.
yeah. I mean,
Or yeah, you go.
like my favorite story, the Malazan Book of the Fallen. You spend a lot of the series following soldiers and a lot of bantering and stupid shit that they do. Like they're at one point they're like in a desert and they like find these scorpions as they march and they start making the scorpions fight each other and like placing bets. And there's someone that kills the scorpion and they immediately go, "We are going to murder you." Like much later on, like throughout the story, there are like lots of different groups of characters, of course, and then there are two groups of characters that end up in the same city and they end up in the same bar and they start like sending drinks to one another, and by the end of the chapter they have an orgy. Then the story
Whoa.
just continues.
Whoa. I didn't know Blast in the Book of the Fallen was cool.
It is the coolest thing in existence. It has a lot of just like nonsense comedy. Like particularly book 5, there are these two guys that just can't stop making jokes to one another. Like just throughout an entire like 1,000-page long novel, you cannot stop but hearing these two bantering.
Is it like Marvel bantering or is it like good
No,
bantering?
no, it's like very very funny, like situational humor that also like not that like it is exaggerated for the sake of the comedy, but it even like has something to say as well, because it's like this guy that like is he used to be rich and now he's homeless, like he lives in this rundown place but he still has his manservant with him, and so it's like he's so poor that he doesn't have his room, so he like sleeps on the roof and
Huh.
like he sleeps on the roof and he doesn't have like a full set of clothes, and there is this whole thing about how like they keep like alive somehow even though they barely eat, and one of them is like muscular and the other is like, how the fuck do you maintain their body, and they keep joking about this throughout the whole thing. There is a scene I don't remember if it's book 5 or 7, but there is a the rat catchers guild is kind of important in one of these books. And there
Cool, that's a good name.
there's a moment where there's this description of a guy that where like all of his pockets are so filled with rats that they are like sleeping out. Like he walks around and the rats just fall around as he walks.
That's fucking cool. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, yeah, like, of course, like, I mean, like, the Criterion Collection then has a bunch of just purely comedy films, because comedy, of course, can say something. It can have a point and a meaning. Yeah, so I would be interesting to see, like, what the thematic elements of the more funnier books If you describe them as like funny books.
Oh, they all of them have a comedy, but
Yeah.
book 5 in particular is very comedy focused.
Is it different protagonist each time, or
There is no protagonist.
okay?
If you put the whole word count of the series together, the character that has the most word count only amounts to 4% of it.
Huh?
Yeah, it really is ridiculous to that point.
Huh?
So everything that people say about like A Song of Ice and Fire not having a protagonist, that times 7.
Okay.
And it's not just for the sake of megalomania. There are good reasons for it. Like collectivism is a big part of the story, and that has to be like represented through how many characters you follow. And then it gets to the point where in like books 9 and 10 you're spending like 20,000 words throughout the whole novel in the POV of a single character, because there are just so many of them that you have to get through.
Okay. I mean, it's just definitely something about like the grandness, the scale of which Malaz and Book of the Fallen seems to cover that is fascinating and is like currently to me is like more alluring than A Song of Ice and Fire is.
Oh, I
I don't
would
know what.
also say that, well, first off, and I don't mean this like as a poke at George, but yeah, Malazan Book of the Fallen is finished, and I would
Oh yeah,
say it is better than A Song of Ice and Fire. So if
yeah.
someone
Okay.
has to choose between those, read Malazan for sure.
Like I don't. I'm not really like. I mean, I've like tried to read like a little bit of Song of Ice and Fire. I didn't really get that far, but from like my knowledge of both, I would say that like I would be a lot more excited to read Malazan than. Though I'm sure it is like terrific. Both stories. Malazan seems like more interesting. Maybe it's just because like it feels like what's like the author's name? Like it seems like he's like lived a more interesting life. I think there's like more.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's like his knowledge on things is like his background is more interesting. So I'm interested to see like what his because he's like an actual archaeologist, right?
yeah. He like there is this particular story that Steven Erickson has shared where I don't remember in which country it was, but like a civil war started in the country while he was like in a dig,
Huh.
and so like the job on the dig was done, and he was going back, and the civil war started, and he like tells this whole story of like walking through this like desolate village that everyone like abandoned, and he was walking, he was like he needed a ride, and he was waiting by the side of the road, and he kept hearing I think it was a goat that they like abandoned on the village, and he kept hearing this goat crying, and and like the only thing he says is that that was the first time he really killed an animal in his life. And like throughout leaving the country as this was happening, he said it got to the point where he had like guns aimed at his head because people wanted to know who he was, because he was walking through like a war torn place. So yeah, like that really comes through in the way he talks about war. Like you can, a lot of people think that he served in the military just because of how he writes about war, but he didn't. However, he did have this one experience with war.
Yeah, I don't think George R. R. Martin has like ever left his home state. That's what I imagine him.
He
I don't
has
imagine he
left,
goes out
but he's
much.
not nearly as traumatized.
Yeah, yeah, it's not enough trauma. Yeah, George R. R. Martin's like biggest trauma is probably his parents getting divorced at like 6. I'm just making stuff up. I don't know anything about the man. Actually, his biggest trauma is probably not being able to see his dick for like the past like 16 years. Fucks a man up, you know. Not that I would know, but I'd imagine.
I guess we can quickly get through 5.10 as well, because I'm not sure how much we have to say about that one.
Oh yeah, there's still a 5.10.
Taylor calls the cops, telling them that an unconscious lung is there, but that they should still be careful. She hangs the phone without identifying who is calling. Outside, the cockroaches that Skitter had ordered to retrieve the money in the safe inside finished the job without her realizing it. She lets everyone grab a bag as thanks. Coil's mercenaries leave, saying they have a ride, while Sundancer goes the opposite way. In conversation with Labyrinth and Neuter, Skitter asks about Labyrinth's situation, how unresponsive she is, thinking she is autistic. Neuter explains that some powers can fuck up with your body like his, but some can fuck up with your mind. Using Labyrinth's power, they leave to go to one of their hideouts, and the Peach and Skitter do the same. This conversation clues Taylor in on how the same might have happened with Peach, and later, after everyone is in the Undersiders' hideout, she asks Lisa about it, who explains that Peach's power hardwires her brain to understand communication with dogs and not with people, so she's not really a sociopath, but unable to get social cues. They can talk about this because Peach would probably leave, and Taylor can't help but wonder if her own power messed with her brain in some way, but Lisa assures her that there isn't anything.
Can you imagine that, like, Greg ends up getting, like, a power and he gets, like, double autism?
He gets autism too.
Yeah, it's, like, twice as powerful.
He has the power of anime.
Yeah, he gets like both like anime, autism, and like esoteric religious knowledge autism. Imagine that. Imagine someone having interest in both of those things.
I can't imagine someone that has an interest in those things. In fact, I can't imagine two people who have an interest in those two things.
Or even three, with a fourth friend who just kind of groans while we talk about it.
Yeah, and opens up Kurita and does something else. Or plays Wordle.
Yeah. The anime religious autism that allows you to appreciate on the Silver Globe, 1988.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And then what if you had like another type of autism that made you make a list of all of the monster girls? Now that would be fucking. Oh.
That is a power. You
That
have
is a
to
superpower.
you have to trigger in some way to get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know about you, but nothing much more to say. Like, Neuter is cool, Labyrinth is cool. I like all the descriptions of how weird her power is. I like everything going on with Bitch. They start to get a little closer, Bitch and Taylor here, even though neither of them really understands it.
Yeah, it was interesting that like Taylor did like the money thing. That was pretty cool. And then like gave Bitch the money. It was just like over. It's like an interesting like carrot like that Taylor. She doesn't need to do it right. She doesn't need to become friends with Bitch or like to truly understand her. But she did this whole like thing of asked her a question and didn't really get a straight answer. It's like, I'll give you all of the money if you could just give me the straight out, like, tell me honestly, like, did you think my thank you was sarcastic? And the honest answer was, I don't know. I don't know if it was sarcastic or not. Which led to, the revelation of, like, how Bitch communicates.
Yeah, and the overall like way that powers fuck up with you are much more present in here. Like in this arc compared to the others. Not just because of this, but because of the interlude as well. Like we really start focusing on that aspect of it from now on.
Do you think gaining powers makes you racist?
I mean, Goku has that. The more racist, the more powerful.
You're just like, you're fucking walking around normally, and then you get trauma and just like, man, I have like the ability to fly, but now I really don't like black people. Wasn't that?
I have the cape autism. And the cape autism tells me to eradicate a specific subset of what I see as a subset of people in my city.
Yeah, certainly kind of it does, the more it leans onto it, does recontextualize a lot of the characters, is like how much of this is like because of the powers and how much of this is like beforehand. Which I think even like the question of trauma is already like that anyway, I think. Which intentional. Where it's like nobody's probably born, well, I guess you are like, born autistic, but like you're not born with like the a lot of the fucked up ways you are, so like you gotta sometimes extend what fucked up in their life that made them think this way for so long. But also, you can just kill people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even then, a lot of who you are ends up like is made. It's not just who you are born as.
Yeah.
And then the usage of like powers here and the trigger events is thematically just a way to put that in the forefront to discuss it.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and also like prejudice is a big part of this story, so when you start talking about these powers, it also makes sense that we would have like the way that Skidmark was treated and the way that Brian's treated differently, but we know that they that like Empire 88 does not like Brian. He's just powerful, and they accept, do not respect that. And then with Neuter and Gregor the Snail, just like very nice way to like ease us into this. Just like adding a new point every time in every arc, which has been a focus of the story since the beginning with
Yeah.
the ABB and everything that the gangs do around the city. Like clearly something that the author is worried about in some way.
Oh yeah, that was what I was gonna ask during like the when we were talking about the authors and stuff. Like, uh, how like interesting is Wildbow's life from what you know?
I actually don't know. I don't think he has shared much.
Okay.
I do think that he he needs like hearing aid equipment. He is. I don't know if he something happened for him to become deaf or if he was born deaf, but I know that he's deaf to some extent and he needs like hearing equipment.
Oh, good thing he's a writer then.
But I don't really know much about his life. I don't know that he's decided to actually write seriously like quite late.
Yeah.
He has shared this story where he was already like writing, he was already interested in it, but then at one point I think he left his job or something, and he was talking with his dad, and his dad asked him like if there was any one thing that he actually would like to do on a daily basis, and he said that, well, I think I would like to be a writer, and he was already like grown up at this point.
Yeah.
But that's all I really know about his life. Don't think he has shared much, to be honest. There aren't that many Wildbow interviews out there.
I mean, I think that's like the case with like a lot of internet,
Yeah.
like story artists. Obviously, we're not talking about the YouTubers here. We're talking about serial writers. I don't know. There's like a lot of the famous creators behind like various RPG Maker games. Like Toby Fox, I don't think has like many interviews. We don't really know much about him.
What about the interlude though?
Oh yeah, the interlude. Yeah, fuck with this noise. Interlude with my boy Gregor the Snail. He's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
there's a lot in this interlude.
Yeah, it starts off kind of like somewhat kind of silly.
Yeah.
But we see like for like what was like a very short cameo, we do see like a pretty interesting character in terms of like the way his brain works.
Yeah. It starts with him like just like dealing with how his power affected him, but he's not someone that is like actively struggling against it. He does say at some point that he took in years to really come to accept it. But
He's one of the monsters, yeah.
yeah, but he has had to like find workarounds, like paying a guy to go grocery shopping for him.
Yeah, and like he's like very level-headed. Even like there's like the one scene where he just like strangles what's her name?
Fault line.
About Fault Line, yeah. He just strangles her, but then it's like out of nowhere because like he's so slow talking and like rational. But then like he explains the reason why is like, well, because she wants to bypass the Manton effect and like upgrade her powers and stuff. He just try to trigger a second trigger event through it, and it's like yeah, it's like I don't know, it's like interesting.
Yeah, that he's someone that would be willing to do that.
Hmm.
Just like kind of hints at what he has had to deal with. And we get plenty of hints, like just the fact that he has been like this for years, while like we are very used to the perspective of Taylor, who has had her power for a couple months, and her
Yeah.
power doesn't. I actually just noticed this, that the previous arc ends with Taylor thinking about how her power made her life worse, but Peach has it so much worse than her. And then we immediately go to Gregor the Snail, who has it so much worse than Peach.
Yeah. But he's also like gone to a point where he is at least comfortable. And like yeah, it's not a flattering image by any means, but this is like down the good path of what Taylor could end up being in some ways.
I just remembered, like, being in Gregor's head makes me think of The Thing. There's like that
Oh,
scene
from a
in,
Fantastic Four.
yeah, there's that scene in like the Fantastic Four movie, not the new one, the older one, where his wife like throws their wedding ring to the ground and he can't pick it up because his
Yeah,
fingers, like, that's a pretty good scene. I just
yeah,
remembered that because it's like similar situation, like someone that even like as soon as he comes up, like people on the line just start calling him a fat fuck. And then when he goes to speak with Newton and there's these two girls, he immediately pays attention to how they look at him. And that tells you, oh, this is something that this man has had to deal with for years. If he immediately notices the way you look at him, like that is a very effective way of not telling you like he was
mm,
used to this. You're just shown how he was used to kind of having to deal with. And even when someone tries to approach him, he might be correct that that girl is interested in him because of the disability, but he doesn't actually know that. Yet he has this like defense mechanism basically of like not letting people get close. While like Neuter is having it a lot easier, even though
oh yeah,
even Taylor herself thinks about how like Neuter is actually kind of good looking. Like even Taylor thinks that.
yeah.
And
Like he's got like blue eyes and like orange skin and the fucking yeah, but he's not. Yeah, it's kind of like it's kind of like comparing the Teen Titans to the Doom Patrol, right? Where the Teen Titans, they're all outsiders. Like Raven, her dad Satan, Starfire is like an alien princess, Beast Boy is like green, Cyborg's a cyborg, and Robin was raised by Batman. Uh, so they're all kind of outsiders, but they're like, and it's like through their friendship and stuff and their adventures that they're like able to like find a place. But they're all like conventionally attractive, generally. Um,
yeah.
Meanwhile, the Doom Patrol is like they're all adults, but they're all like hideous monsters. Like the robot. There's like a robot that's like completely is like a huge robot, but he's like completely old. He's like out of date. He's not compared to like all the other robots. He's just fucking yeah. He's like a first model. There's like the Invisible Man. There's a woman who is conventionally attractive, but she's just like actually like an amorphous blob, and she puts all of her energy and powers as a shapeshifter in order to look conventionally attractive every day. But the truth is, she is just a blob. And
Mm.
yeah, it was like they were written to be like a superhero group that cry into their beers every night. Like that was like the idea. And like how the first comic book run ends. I mean, I doubt like anybody will fucking read Doom Patrol but me. You'll just read Grant Morrison's run; it's fucking perfect. But the original run, the original run, it ends with them all sacrificing themselves for a small fishing village, and their names they're not like heroes the whole world knows, but they're known by this one fishing village forever as like
Mm.
heroes that saved them. Yeah, it's kind of like that, you know. Like
Yeah.
Taylor's not like completely ugly. She's not like it's not like she's gonna as she describes herself as being like more conventionally attractive than she was. But meanwhile, Gregor the snail is like, a fucking fat, obese snail man.
Yeah, and you can see the outlines of his organs and his teeth because his skin is like see-through.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in that sense, like neuter is like the monster girl. Like there's an allure to the danger, like to the exotic.
Yeah.
They're like not really the same thing because he's not really seducing people in that sense, at least not from his power, but it's like a siren.
Well,
While
yeah, he's like conventionally attractive, and he can give you like
yeah,
as he describes it, like hallucinogenic drugs that like are pleasurable and like a single drop that won't get you addicted. It'll be like just an hour. It's like a perfect hallucinogenic drug. There's like no negative side effects, and it's like it's like a part of the appeal. If Nuta was a girl, I'd probably say smooch. You know, I'm not really into like hallucinogenics. I don't really like doing that stuff, but you know, yeah, seems good enough. If Nuta was the type of person to force you to do drugs, then that's like a no. But
yeah.
that's not for me.
But
Yeah, no, actually, like if it was like if it was like a monster girl that like makes you hallucinate and like fucking no, that's a no for me. I do not like that.
yeah, interesting because there was this whole like theme of beauty and pristine going on earlier, like with Taylor not being attractive and thinking that her bodies look better, with the interlude from
Mm,
Glory Girls and how she is like
yes.
this presentation, and then here we have like a that same team again with Neuter and Gregor. Like imagine like being in Gregor's place and seeing Neuter and like how do you keep yourself from feeling jealousy of Neuter, right? Being
Yeah.
Gregor, but like as you said, he's like this very collected guy, very calm, very kind of accepting of his position, which is
Like
sad.
there's like there's like nothing you can do. Yeah. So you just kind of do have to live with it.
And even when speaking with Neuter, he's like, "Are you happy?" And Neuter's like, "Oh, but look at everything that I have. Like girls want to actually have a taste of me." Blah 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 blah. And Gregor's like, "No, are you happy?" Like it just shows you a very different way that these two have been both forced into this situation. Neither of them wanted these powers, but like for as monstrous as Neuter is, I don't know. I'm just like dwelling on the melancholy of it, I guess, of like the same thing that I described with this scene from Fantastic Four where he can't grab the ring, like he can't grab love because his fingers are too stubby, like just being made to be an outsider, which like a lot of these stories are like the people with power end up being people at the edges of society in different ways. Like there is generally like a team there with being not being privileged, being the victims,
Yeah.
like with the X-Men. And
Yeah, yeah.
I just think
Yeah,
that like
again, like
these
X-Men is like there's like a lot of them that are conventionally attractive. It fucks with them sometimes. Like Cyborg, obviously, like he always has to wear glasses, but he's like a good-looking dude, and like
yeah
so he's like the leader and stuff. But then there's like some X-Men that are just completely fucked up. They're just like they're mutants that just have like no, and it's like there's nothing they can do, really. And even
yeah
if like Professor Xavier like wants to do something with them and give them a place, like he's not gonna ever give them like attention the same way that Wolverine gets, or Jean Grey.
yeah. I just think that
Yeah.
this interlude is a much more interesting way of dealing with that. And it hadn't really hit me until we started talking about it, how sad it is.
Yeah, again, because like he is past, seemingly a lot of the pain. There is towards like the very back end of it. There's more of a there's a sort of description of like how it's happening. There's like this mystery with this
Oh yeah.
turned UC. Yeah, that's so there is like still something. It's not like his life is completely perfect. There's like this underlying mystery, but like in terms of his day-to-day life, he has made peace with enough that you do look over the years of what can only be like unimaginable fucking torment and like being treated as an outsider.
Which is made even worse by the fact that, as we learn later in this same interlude, that he like doesn't know where he comes from. He just was thrown to the side of the road one day looking like this, and he doesn't know who he is. So he's not just physically made to be an outsider by forces beyond his control. He's also like situationally forced into that position.
I think this is like a good idea that should be taken for a story where like it is a guy that develops powers. Well, I guess that's Swamp Thing, isn't it? Like, yeah, given powers is like this has a trigger event into this big monster thing, and then sort of has to deal with that. Which I think that's what Swamp Thing's about. Though I've never read a Swamp Thing comic.
Me neither. And then we also get a quick look at Spitfire and Labyrinth before the talk with Faultline. And Faultline does. I'm trying to remember what Faultline mentions because I remember there being some important stuff there.
Yeah, like she's trying to mess with the Manton effect.
Yeah,
which is like the idea that you can't use the powers on yourself, and they talk about how, like, well, her like theory of it is that because we have like an instinctive, protective, like we just have like an instinct as human, like to protect ourselves and like get away from danger. So we're not gonna do something unpredictable like on ourselves, use our powers on ourselves because we don't know like what that would do. So she's trying to trick her brain into using the powers on herself accidentally.
Yeah, she does talk about. I mean, you mentioned this before, but I think this is the first time it's brought up in the story, like the possibility of having a second trigger event.
Yeah, because of Taylor, it happened like in last arc, where she's a little bit better with her powers now. It wasn't like exactly a second trigger event, but it does seem like the fight with Bakura has like improved her powers.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was not a second trigger, but like the possibility is now being discussed, and
yeah,
there's just some more world building here, like with this group that we don't know who they are, that apparently are selling powers. There's a mention. I think this is the second time that Narwhal is mentioned, and also the Dragon Slayers, a villain group that used Tinker technology stolen from the most powerful and highest profile Tinker in the world.
Dragon Slayers, like Fairy Tail.
No, but the God Slayers are more powerful than the Dragon Slayers, okay?
I mean, whatever. They fucking show up like an arc. Here's a
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. You know what? Fucking take back everything I said about fucking Hiro Mashima, right? That fucking like whole arc where the fucking God Slayer of Fire
Yeah.
comes up and Natsu can't. It's like Natsu can't control the flames and stuff. And
But then he does.
the whole yeah, because like the fucking Gargiel, who's like the strongest Fairy Tail member, he's like, listen, sometimes
that's Guild Arts, I think, not
Guild
Gargiel.
Arts, yeah, whatever. Guild Arts, yeah. He's like, listen, sometimes you legitimately can't just overpower an enemy. Sometimes you gotta think about it a little. You gotta fucking reach. You can't just overpower everything. You can't just punch harder. And then he goes out anyway and fucking just eats the flames, even though he was established to like not be strong enough, and eats the fucking Godfire flames. It's fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid. It was like, what? He didn't learn anything. He didn't learn anything.
Yeah, that's one of the big issues I have with Fairy Tail, that like it's common for shonen protagonists to be like reckless, but not so being reckless is never a fault. Things still work out for him, even though it makes no goddamn sense. Unlike in Worm, where Taylor being reckless leads to some pretty horrifying shit.
Yeah. Even when she thinks she's being smart, she fucks everything up.
Good interlude.
Yeah, what a good interlude. Probably the best one for a while, actually. Brutus was like cute and funny. It was like a good idea.
Yeah, but this one's dense.
This one's dense, yeah. What was the interlude for fucking? It doesn't matter.
Uh,
Better than the Ward one, I think, personally.
yeah. Like,
Yeah.
to me, it's like this one and Danny's interlude are the best ones so far.
So far, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, apparently, there's the first comment on this interlude is from Wild Bull himself.
Oh, neato.
Interlude
Yeah.
5 featuring Faultline's crew in response to reader feedback saying you guys wanted to hear more about Gregor and Neuter.
Oh, cool.
Oh, so this wasn't like necessary for the story in Wild Bull's eyes, but he still managed to make it very interesting and uses it to foreshadow a lot of stuff. That's very good.
Yeah, good on him. Unless he had already like had the idea for it and it just like switched out with 2 different heroes.
Yeah.
Capes.
Well, there is stuff here that is referenced that he definitely knew about because of things that are going to happen later. But maybe he like planned to introduce that like through Taylor in some way. But then like well, if people want to hear about Gregor Neuter, let me just talk about that here.
It was actually originally gonna be out Skid Mark.
I don't want a skid mark interlude.
But it's like, you know what? Yeah, Gregor the Snail is probably a better. All right, I think that's a wrap for the episode.
Yeah, it was probably the best arc so far.
I agree. Yeah, it's like a decent like length. It's not as long as like the previous 2 arcs, but it was definitely, yeah, it was like strong. It's like a strong arc, the best one.
Comment down below who do you think was the brain and who was the worm, and tune in next time for when we get tangled.
Oh yeah, and make sure to fucking subscribe to the Freaks of Narrative.